In this exercise, we're going to both read a data file and write a data file. This time we're going to work with numbers. We're going to be averaging temperatures over week spans, or actually maybe even a 2-week span. We'll start out with a 1-week span. So the first thing we need to do is create a data file with our numbers. So we'll use copycon to do that. We'll call our file temps.txt. And we're going to enter 7 temperatures. Then when we're finished, Control Z to end it. Let's check and make sure our file exists. And there it is. So now we need to write a program to average those temperatures, to read the file and average the temperatures. We're going to call that program tempaverage.rb, although I'm going to abbreviate average. First thing we do is create a variable count to keep track of the number of days or the number of temperatures. Set it to 0. Have a total variable to do the same thing. Then we simply loop through the file, reading each line and storing it in a temp variable for temperature. Because we're working with numbers, but they're coming out of a text file, we need to convert them before we add it to the total. So let's do that, like so. Then we need to increment the count by 1 to keep track of the number of temperatures. Then we can end the loop, and then we can display the total. So let's save this file, and then we'll run it. Let's clear the screen. And we get an average of 43. Now, let's write another program that will add more temperatures to this file so that we could perhaps do it a week at a time and then keep a running average of all of the temperatures. So we're going to call this program addTemps.rb. First thing we're going to do is create a file handle object. So we open our file, temps.txt. We want to be able to append to the file. So we use A+ as the mode, whereas before we used either R or W, or even RW. For this particular program, we're going to use A+ for appending. And the way I'm going to write this program, I'm just going to set up a simple while loop that allows us to enter 7 days at a time. And we're just going to assume that that's how we always work with this file. So we say while day is less than 8, we'll prompt the user to enter a temperature. We'll get the temperature and go ahead and convert it to integer, although really there's not much reason to do that. So let's just take that out. Again, because we're storing it in a file that's going to be text anyway. Then we write it to the file, increment our day by 1, end the loop, and then close the file. So let's exit and save. And let's run our program. And now we have some new temperatures in the file. Let's look at our file. There's our new temperatures. Now let's run the average. And we see that our average has gone up to 47 because we had several 50-degree days in there also. So that wraps up this exercise. Let's take a look again at our programs. We had our temp average program, which simply opens the file, reads the data, and then computes an average. Exit out of that. And then we have our addTemps program that opens our temps.txt file for appending, loops 7 times, allowing the user to add 7 temperatures to the file, and then closes the file. And again, we get the ability to append by selecting the correct mode. If we'd have selected write, then it would have started a new file, or even read-write, it would have started a new file. When you want to add data to a file in Ruby, you need to use the append mode. So that wraps up this exercise on reading and writing text files, and we're going to move on to the next exercise where we're going to work a little bit with network programming.